Hello everyone, it's me, Nancy Finch, doing tea with Nan on a Monday at 12 o'clock. Welcome if you're going to come along and listen to me for a few minutes, and we're going to be talking about some interesting things. Today, I've got Dream It, Believe It, Achieve It. That's what my cup is today. It's a nice pink cup, very soft, very nice colour. So I hope you've all had a good week since the last time I saw you. And if anyone wants to come on here and just say hi, I shall send you a Monday hug, virtual hug. So if anyone can listen to me and say hi, then we can start this off and we can talk about self-judgment. That's what it's all about today, self-judgment. So it's going to be fun to get you on here and to find out whether you have been the same as all of us, really. We have moments and times in our lives where we tend to judge ourselves, and we can sort of be quite harsh on ourselves, actually. There was a time when I did one of my Nan talks that it was really funny, and I kept going, all the devices were all wrong, and I kept thinking, oh, well, okay, what I've got to do is definitely stop criticizing myself. So that's what I did. But it was so funny because everything I did that day went absolutely terrible. So I had to be very mindful not to do that. And that's brilliant. So if you can do that, that's great. You can be taking yourself away from a place of judgment into a place of self-love. So if anyone's on here, no one's on here yet, but I think maybe the device might be playing up. So it was last night. I found out a lot of trouble with trying to get onto Facebook and do stuff with the phone. So if anyone can hear me, that's great. And if you can't, well, I'll just talk to you and put this up later. That'd be another reason to judge myself on not getting technology right. So today, what we're talking about today, or thinking about, is how we develop. Oh, we have got someone on here. So I managed to get the device working after all. So virtual hug to whoever's just said hi. Yeah, self-judgment. We work on this over time. We gradually get conditioned, don't we, to feel a lot of self-judgment. We want to improve ourselves, or somebody else judges us, or conditioning around us. That can happen where people constantly feel judged by comparison, by people sort of saying, you haven't done that well enough, or you could do better. And so we tend to sort of gradually develop self-judgment. And although that can motivate you in some ways, to think, well, okay, I'll make sure I get that right, or I'm working toward the better, higher self of me, you know, more achievements. And that can motivate you, yes, but it can also shut down your heart chakra. Oh, hi, Kerry. Nice to see you. I didn't know if this was working today because I had to muck about with it last night. I had some problems with it. Oh, Nikki, hi, darling. Happy May Monday to you too. Oh, yes, Bank Holiday Monday. I keep forgetting. Oh, I'm echoing. That's very strange. Well, if you can't hear me very well, I am really sorry. Am I echoing to you as well, Nikki? Or is it just one device? Oh, no, it's okay. Good. Okay, so it sounds like I'm in a big hall, does it? Well, that's funny. Okay, so what does self-judgment do to us? Okay, self-judgment shuts down the heart chakra, this one here, and that's your immune system. So when you shut that down through that feeling, and that's what happens, that thought becomes a feeling, the feeling becomes a reaction in your chakra energy, then what you're doing is hurting yourself, where that thought is a toxic thought, if you like, a toxic feeling. So we've got to transform that into another feeling to quickly open this area and to make ourselves better, and for lots and lots of reasons. I mean, physically, yes, because we need to keep this working well. Emotionally, we need to keep our inner child happy. And by the law of attraction, what happens is when we start to think something, we put out a vibe, if you like, and the vibe comes back. It's always returned to us. So if we're a feeling of like self-love, we're going to have people love us more. If we have a lot of feeling of self-judgment, we're more likely to have people judge us. I mean, that happened to me once when I was driving down the road, thinking I'm okay, driving down the road, and by the law of attraction, this happens. So I was fine, I thought, and someone sort of started shouting and shaking their fist at me when it was my right of way in this particular area, this road. And as he went past me, shaking his fist, and I'm thinking, wow, why is he judging me? And I'm thinking, well, obviously I must be judging myself. And when I thought about it, I thought, okay, I must have been pushing myself too hard in an area of work, and then when I came right down to it, I realized I was being hard on myself. I had been sort of telling myself I should have got that done by now, I should have done this, a lot of should haves. And so that was pressure and that was judgment. So as soon as I recognised it, I transformed it to the 3 V's that I talk about all the time. One of my talks, which I'll reference in a minute. I value me, I validate me, I very much love me. Well, that was enough to say that a few times to change the vibe that I felt within me and what I attracted back into my life. So it soon changed, because later on the journey, I had a few more incidences, you know, going past cars and things and letting people go. And they were all lovely, absolutely lovely, because I'd changed towards myself. It's a really weird thing, but true. So if you find someone shaking a fist at you in the car, you're probably judging yourself and you've attracted that. Okay, so yeah, that's a really good reason not to do it as well. But usually the mirror of the outside will tell you what you're feeling on the inside. So if someone doesn't value you, it's probably because you're not valuing yourself, etc. So it's the old thing, you've got to love yourself first before you can be loved. And everybody wants to be loved. So yes. So what have I written on my board? Yeah, we need to replace self-judgment as soon as we recognise it, okay? Because otherwise it forms synapses in our mind, you know, in our brains. So what happens? Oh, thanks for the heart, darling. So what happens is we think that thought becomes a feeling, and it becomes like a synapse, is like a road, a pathway in our brains. And so we naturally go back to that a lot. So we repeat that action and it becomes a very strong connection. And what we need to do is change that, like a junction box, to another connection, a brand new road, or a brand new track, if you like, with a junction box. You need to change that. And once you change that, you're in control of not going back to that feeling again. Gradually, over a period of time, you will not be judging yourself as hard. You will not criticise yourself. That goes very nicely with the sticks, by the way, which I can't remember which number that is, but anyway, it's on my site in the orange area. So sticks is another example of what not to do. Don't criticise yourself. Don't have self-judgment, okay? So, yeah, there's several things that you can do to stop this process of I'm always doing this, okay? So 3 talks I've got here that are really good. The wheel is very good because we can go into the wheel, and that's, as I say, that on the red on my website, and that basically you can go in and then give yourself the alternative feeling, the opposite feeling, if you like, to self-judgment. So what you would do in this particular exercise, you would take yourself into the wheel with the breath, and then you perhaps would replace it with self-love, acceptance, or self-acceptance and love. You could have anything you like that would be the opposite to that. If it can be compassion or kindness, but you've got to choose something that you're going to override that initial self-judgment. You know, maybe just self-acceptance and love would be enough, you know. If you want to go to my website, www.nancyfinch.co.uk, you can find all my talks on there, and they're all colour-coded. So, and they work on those particular areas and others, of course, you know, collectively. So you'll find that in the red section. Also, still your waters would be good, because what you could do with that is take another breath. I like working with breath and intention. Another breath, go down in above the water. You still the waters with your mind, which of course you're reflecting of yourself, and you look into like a mill pond, and you look into it, and you can see your own reflection. And if you imagine seeing that, you can then say those words. Look into your own reflection in your mind and say, I'm going to replace self-judgment with self-acceptance and love. It's a really powerful exercise to do, really good. And of course I have to do it myself. So there's another one, as I say, the three V's, that's in the orange section. And that's really good because that will just recondition your mind. I value me, I validate me, I very much love me. Very powerful. And you're kind of saying it to your inner child as well, because we all need a bit of that. We're all looking for love. But if we can give it to ourselves, we will attract it as well as feel good. And love opens that area. It opens your heart chakra and attracts more into your life. So there's very good reasons to do it. But it's a bit of a trick, you see. We don't know we're self-judging. Not half the time we think, oh, I'm just trying to improve. I'm trying to improve myself. But you're really half the time putting yourself down. And what happens to that emotional balloon I go on about is that you need to keep it up here, and it's going down here every time we judge. And what do we judge ourselves on, you know? Not that important. Half the stuff we judge ourselves on isn't really a big priority in our lives. We just think it is. You know, it might be, oh, I've eaten too many biscuits, or I've made a wrong decision, or I bought the wrong house, or married the wrong person, or something. You know, it could be big or little things. Well, whatever it is, we are judging ourselves harshly sometimes, and with no compassion, no understanding for that part of you that needs that support. And our inner child definitely needs that support. And if we've done something we think is wrong, we haven't really done anything wrong. We've just changed direction in our lives and chosen a different thing. We could never really make a mistake. Whatever we do teaches us how to evolve in ourselves. Our soul evolves through every experience. So we haven't really made a mistake. We've just changed direction, you know. So one thing to do, basically, without the talks even, I've put on my board here, if you're out and about and you catch yourself being a bit harsh on yourself, oh, I should have done that, a bit of harsh self-judgment or criticism, just take a deep breath and breathe that feeling away from you. Breathe it right out so there's no more breath in your chest. Breathe that feeling away and then take another slow, deep breath. Breathe in self-acceptance and love. Take that right into your body. And maybe do this a couple of times. And you can do this anywhere, anytime. You know, it doesn't have to be something you do at the end of the day. It could be through the day. The more you do it, the more aware you are of your self-judgment, the better it is. Much better. Because then you are changing the synapses. You're becoming mindful. And mindful gives you control. So you do feel better. And you attract more. You attract good things. And so you probably have less situations that you find yourself judging yourself. Or others, actually, as well. Because if you have compassion for yourself, you're going to have more for other people. And then you'll perhaps see things from their point of view. Or it becomes easier to solve family problems, etc., etc. So what else have I got down on my board here? Just about being compassionate, really. It's really important that we learn to be compassionate to ourselves. We have been compassionate quite often to other people. We give compassion and kindness to other people. We quite often want that back. We hope we're going to get it back in our relationships and our situations. But if you're not really feeling it yourself, you're not going to attract it. If you don't feel it, you can't have it. So you've got to learn to give it to yourself. And if this makes sense to anybody, then, you know, come back and give me some feedback. But if the outside of you, looking on the outside of you, the mirror, that is your clue. That is your clue as to what you're feeling on the inside. And it's very important that we look to see what we're getting. If we're getting, and we're giving out that vibe, don't forget. If we're thinking we're okay on the surface of our minds, our conscious minds, subconsciously, you don't know if there's self-judgment in that 97% subconscious. And it comes to the surface and you see it around you. So whatever you're attracting in, how people are treating you is how you're treating yourself. So self-judgment is a good one to change. And if you find yourself being harsh on you, then you're not giving yourself the best thing you can do for your heart, for your immune system, and you need to keep that well. And it doesn't help, it doesn't serve you really. Yes, it's a motivator, but if you could have compassion and kindness, when you say to yourself in a way that I'm going to move forward and I'm going to change perhaps the way I did that, or I'm going to change direction in life, but I've never made a mistake, I'm just going to change direction. I always like to show a little story where you see the window pane and the rain comes down. And I think I've said this before on here, but the rain's on the window and it comes down. You never quite know which direction the rain is going to go down the window. It might go over here, then suddenly it goes further down to the right. It always ends up at the bottom. If we could kind of take that analogy and realise it doesn't matter which direction we take in life or what decisions we make, they're just a different experience. We always end up going where our soul journey wants to take us and how we want to evolve through those experiences. So we've never made a mistake. I used to think I made loads of mistakes in my life because I've always thought, oh, if I didn't do that and I didn't do this, then I would be there or I'd have this. But that is very destructive to yourself and, as I say, attracts more of that into your life. And you'll see it everywhere around you as well. So what we really need to do is recognise it, change it, and immediately either get rid of it with a breath or do the 3 exercises, especially the Still Your Waters, that's a nice one, where you instantly recognise that feeling and change it and give yourself something. You can even look in the mirror and do it. As soon as you get self-judgment, look in the mirror. No, I'm going to give you self-acceptance and love. There are no mistakes. We just have different experiences, different directions that we take ourselves in our lives. So, be aware of how you treat yourself this week. Are you judging yourself? Are you giving yourself a hard time? Are you thinking that's the thing to motivate you and give you, to bring you success? It isn't really. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's going to drive you, but if you can do it with compassion and do it with kindness, that's got a much better feeling inside you. And you'll find you have more energy as well. People that judge themselves usually have their shoulders down, their body language is it's hard to move properly. We don't feel free, we don't feel happy. When we're happier, we have more energy and we are more flexible and we stay well. Happy people stay well most of the time. But this immune system needs to be boosted. So every time you change it, you're helping yourself on lots of levels. Oh, hi, John. Oh, yeah, I know. John said he's been there as well, my darling cousin. Yes, well, this is an experience, remember? Just an experience. We are not, well, we can change anything in our lives. You know, once we recognise it, we're halfway there to changing it. We have to recognise it first. So that the trick is just to catch yourself. What are you feeling? Are you being kind? Would you say the things you say to yourself, would you say them to someone else? Probably not. You know, people judge themselves how they look, the decisions they've made, etc. You know, people, quite a lot of women I know actually, will look in the mirror and go, oh, look at the state of that. And we've all done it. We've all done it. But that is self-judgment and criticism. So maybe go to the sticks in the orange section of the Nan Talks I've got. And I'll remind you again, www.nancyfinch.co.uk. And if you want to email me and ask any questions or perhaps arrange an online one-to-one session where I can help you, it's nancyfinch@hotmail.co.uk. So that's something you can always do. If you can get to see me, though I'm very booked up. Anyway, so I hope you can work on that self-judgment because you're changing your mind, literally. The synapses change, the pathway, the way you treat yourself, the vibe you give out, physically, and the law of attraction. All of those things are worth addressing. And it's not hard work. Just catch that thought. That's a self-judgment thought. I'm going to be kind to me. And kindness is a really powerful tool to make you well. Self-acceptance and love. I'm using those words if I have to correct self-judgment. So remember, breathe out and breathe in self-acceptance and love, and perhaps do a couple of the talks. And of course, you can also go to listen to some of the meditations I've done, which are on the website, and they're all free, and they're all very, very good for you to calm, to restore, and to feel good. Yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe and share when I put this on. And I hope you all have a very, very good week. And I hope nobody shakes a fist at you. Remember, it's a mirror. If someone's unkind to you, it's because you're unkind to yourself. So the more we're kind to ourselves, the better it is for us and for what we attract. I know I've said that a few times, but it's very important. So I don't know what I'm going to be talking about next week. No idea whatsoever. These ideas just come to me the night before quite often. And yeah, and I hope you enjoy my site if you go onto it. Feedback would be appreciated because I can see what works for you. And I hope you have a lovely week and really enjoy being kind to you. Okay, being compassionate to yourself. Best gift you can give. Lots of love. So I think that's us covered, really. Have a good week. Enjoy today. And really keep your emotional balloon high. It is so important. And the more we do that, the better we are for ourselves and others, and collective consciousness as well. So it's a namaste moment, and I shall see you next week. And I hope you all stay well and keep yourself very happy with your emotional balloon up here. Take care. Lots of love. Bye, everyone. Bye.